Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. It is Wednesday, 3/23/22. My name is Red Baron. Thank you for joining us. As always, if you guys are new in live stream, we'll talk about a little bit about who I am and where I'm from here coming up in just a second. As is normal for our customary for our show, I like to have a couple seconds of radio silence because I'm a one-man show. Got to let social media know what's going on here, get everything set up, and put out the notice to the troops to show up. So give me just a couple seconds here. I'm going to radio silence, and I'll be right back and start the show. Thank you for joining us. Okay, guys, thank you very much for that. It's one of these days we'll have a better way to do this, but at this point in time seems to be about the best way to do it since I've got controls and passwords and all stuff like that. So I hate to always have that first radio silence, but it is what it is. So thank you very much for joining me here on a very soggy Wednesday outside today here in the Midwest. It is 3:30 p.m. Chicagoland time. Glad to have you with me here. My name is Red Baron. For those of you guys that are new to the live stream here, I am the chief chef and bottle washer of this one man ship. So thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to, of course, obviously we have a free Discord. Let's do a little housekeeping at the top of the show here. So our website, our main website is fibbycharts.com. That's the site you're seeing here with our charts and stuff like that. I'll cover that here in just a second. We do, however, have a free Discord. Love to have you be a part of that. Join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. www.theunfairadvantage.chat. And what you'll see there when you're doing that is you'll see an invitation from Red Baron. That's yours truly. Just click on that, and that'll take you in. It's a little bit confusing. If you need a little bit of help getting in there, just click on it, and one of the mods will sidle up next to you and help you come the rest of the way in. Discord's not an easy thing to get in and out of. One of these days, hopefully, maybe they'll get that fixed. But for the time being, it is what it is. So, but nonetheless, once you get in, you're among family. You're among people that won't spam you, that won't trash talk you, won't talk you down. We're a very very mature support group, and we've been active for well over a year now, and we've managed to maintain a community that is solid. You know, I mean, a lot of these communities that are out there on Discord and whatever, they're just a shit show, and I am determined to never let that happen to our group. So, you know, we have, I believe, around about 1,300 members. We could be bigger, but you know, we just don't let those types in, and so had a little bit of spam this week, and just bam, kills it. So we don't let that kind of stuff come into our group. And if any of you guys are listening with the idea of coming in and spamming, you're not going to last 30 seconds. So we quash that stuff fast. So again, if you guys would like to join us, please do so. The unfairadvantage.chat, no charge to be in there. However, if you are subscribed to our upper level charts, which we refer to as VIP, you can join us as cheap as $29.95 and get in on some of our automated intelligence charts. Silver, and of course, obviously, if you get into the VIP levels, which is gold and platinum, and diamond, of course, for our high rollers, you get additional levels of chat, more intel, more charts, more stuff, more things to get involved in. But cost to entry is very, very cheap. You know, getting good tools is essential, especially in this market right now. I mean, oh my God, guys. This has been brutal. If you don't know what to expect, if you don't have the tools that can tell you what to expect, you know, you're just floating in the ocean of confusion, and I'm seeing an awful lot of that. So we'll go ahead and jump into a few things here. Just take a look and see what's going on. The market's not really doing a hell of a lot to really comment on in a decisive direction. You know, we're not moonshotting. We're just kind of going sideways a little bit here. So let's just take a look at a few things. So on the last show, I told you that we're in development on Platinum Pro 2.0, which is our pro trading platform. So a little bit of upgrades here, just a little bit of updates as to what's going on. You'll see we have a little bit of a look change here for the old version of Platinum Pro is still in effect. We're going to leave both versions. Sometimes you want a simple interface, which is this one right here. Let's go back. It takes a second here. Internet's running really slow. This is the simple interface, gives you all the open and closed markets and stuff. Gives you 5 charts on every single. So this is our original Platinum Pro trading interface. And so what we've done is we've simplified this and congested it a little bit, or we've made it a lot more graphically intensive. So now what you've got is you've got all the chart accesses, plus you can tell what's going positive, what's going negative. And by the way, I meant to mention this on last show. We're sneaking in a few things every once in a while. I didn't mention this little ditty right here. So we now have a chart on Platinum Pro 2.0 for BTC dominance. So if you guys that are into that, I gotta be careful how I say that. That might come out wrong. You guys are into dominance. That's a whole other thing. We don't have charts for that. You guys that are into monitoring that sort of thing. You got the access to it right here. So we are going to have a few other things that are going to be sneaking in here. Now, I did mention that we were trying to put in Anubis. We found, I think, without crapping up the display here, I think we found a pretty easy way to do this. Originally, we were going to put an interface that floated across the bottom, but I thought, it's a bit busy, because I know a lot of you guys open on your phone and stuff like that. So we found a much better way to do this. So what you basically just hit the toggle top 10 chart, and there she is. Basically, to turn it on and to turn it off, basically you just click that button right there. And what you're seeing here, I got to refresh because my screen is running. What you should see here, let me do this. My screen, it's on my issue. There we go. There we go. All right. What you should see is you should see the top 10, and then of course you can go to the next. You can go to the 11 through 20 and stuff like that. But this will show you the top 10, and this is a live feed out of the winners and losers. And of course, obviously, like I was showing you, you get market changes of 24, 7-day, 30-day market cap, 24-hour change, and then a 7-day graphic intensive breakdown. Now, if you want to see what your biggest winners are and losers are, it goes much deeper than just 10. If you want to go, this is the entire list of everything that we monitor. If you were to flip this and say, okay, show me the biggest beatdown or the biggest success for 24 hours, Cardano is way down there. Cardano is so far the highest flyer. This is when you use Platinum Pro, this is the way you should be using it. You should be coming on, checking this right now to see what your biggest winners and losers are. Then you can start zeroing in on what you should be paying attention to. So that's kind of where we've been heading with this. And so we're going to be using this on the show an awful lot more to be able to comment on what's going on. So just briefly taking a look at this. So it looks like Cardano is our biggest winner so far for the last 24 hours. And if we flip it the other direction, our biggest beatdown is Ethereum. So then we can start to make an intelligent decision as to where we want to watch the charts and see. So that way we're not digging through chart after chart after chart after chart, because it is very time consuming. We're creating a platform where you guys don't have to spend hour upon hour upon hour. These are investments. These are not, the last thing in the world anyone needs is another job or more things to do with their time. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create something where you can spend maybe an hour to two, or maybe about an hour looking at the stuff, making a decision, taking your position, and then move on with your day. I personally am starting to do an awful lot more of that this year. For the last couple of years while I was creating this business and starting this business, I was spending pretty much 16 hours a day, and I don't sleep that much, anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day in front of the charts, and it's really, really brutal to do, guys. It affects your social life. It just affects everything, and so I can't be doing that, and none of you should be doing that either. So the system has gotten a lot better for me, and so obviously we do have phone notifications that we are building into this. So if there's something you need to know, it'll ping you. It'll ping you to come back to your PC and be able to look at this stuff, and that way you don't have to sit there, because trust me, you cannot stare this stuff into submission. It just does not work. So there's no sense in sitting there kind of hovering over it, because it's just not going to do anything for you. Until it's ready to move, it's not going to move. So all right, so thank you very much once again for joining us. And if real quickly, if you guys do want to like and subscribe to the charts, you can do that by simply going to FibbyCharts.com, just going right here to subscribe, pick your package, and come on in. We'd love to have you. All right, so let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. All right, so commenting on an earlier prediction. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. These things are predicted, and there's no sense in hovering over them, because it's exactly what I told you was going to happen. When we were over in this general area here, I drew this circle. I said this is what we're going to be doing. Let me get in here. I said this is pretty much going to be your restriction right here. Let's make that red. I said red, damn it, not green. All right. I said that was going to be basically where your restriction was going to be, and so that's pretty much what we've been doing. Is we've been playing off that triangle right there, and we're not going to do anything until a certain period of time. But I did tell you this is where you're going to see a breakout of the smaller triangle, and sure enough, things are tracking and tracing just exactly like they should be. So where are we at with this now? So now, if you recall, when I was explaining how a triangle only really has two plays in its book. It'll play to the point, which will take you all the way down to here, and I don't think we're going to do that, or it'll go to 70% and break out. Now that we've achieved this, I think I can go ahead and take this out because I proved my point with this. My thought is we're kind of going to go into a sub pattern where we're probably going to do a little march like this, and then we're going to continue down. That would be my first line instinct for this, and I think that actually truly that line right there is going to stop it for a little while. So I think overall for the next week or so, that's probably what I would expect to see happen. I wouldn't expect too much, and the reason why I say that is because this is a continuation pattern going on, and then more or less like that. And what I say for this is going to hold true for the rest of the market as well. So and again, I'm leaving this here for my own amusement, because as outrageous as that sounds, trust me, I've shown you guys more than once that a drop like this can actually happen. So I'm leaving it here just purely for my own amusement, so I can say I told you so later on. But for the here and the now, basically, don't expect a whole hell of a lot for Bitcoin. You guys know how I'm just constantly amused by watching social media just lose their ever-loving minds when things start to pump a little bit. Oh, it's going to the moon. Look, see, Bitcoin's moving, and I'm showing you right where the restrictions are, and it's hitting it literally right to the pixel, right on the line. And this was put out there about 2 weeks ago, and I said this is where we're going to be within. So, and sure enough, that's exactly what's going on. So nothing new with Bitcoin. No reason to get excited. Get a paper bag, breathe in it if you need to, but it's not. there's nothing too major that's happening there, worthy of comment. There are a few. The reason why I'm going live stream today is there are a few that I want to talk about. Theta is the one that I mostly want to discuss today. Just want to take a quick walk through the market. Now, Ethereum, as we showed you, using the Anubis price index tracker, is the most beat down thing in the last 24 hours. But that franchise is turning around, so it's starting to go. We're starting to get a bull flag, I would expect a run to the mid-level, the 50%. So, what can we do with that? Well, that's a 10% run right there, guys. I've said this over and over and over and over and over. I generally don't get too excited about anything if it's not 15% or more. However, I'm not suggesting that this is going to stop at 10%. I'm simply saying is in the next move, the cards are such that it looks and appears like we've got a very clear bull flag that should run us possibly to the 50%. Reason being is because we have a little bit of ceiling right there. A little bit of, can you see that? It's right here. It's right here and right here. We have a little bit of resistance, so it makes all the good sense in the world that we're probably going to be stopping and putting the brakes on right there at the 50%, as we are apt to do very, very often. And again, if we want to take that all the way across, you can see we've just got massive loads of, so I don't think we're going to get past that. Of course, obviously, we got a 200 EMA that we're banging off of. Now, from there, what happens? Well, probably more of the same. I mean, that's the narrative is always going to be down until I tell you decisively different. But there's those moments that pop up higher, and you can capitalize on them. But anyone that wants to make a little bit of money off of Ethereum, and I do mean a little bit of money, I wouldn't, you McDonald's money guys, I wouldn't be jacking with this because you just, what are you going to make? $1, $2, something like that. It's not worth it. But you guys that are working 5 figures, say you got 15, 25,000, my thoughts on that, if you're working 15 to 25,000 bare minimum, and you think, oh, Ethereum, there's really nothing wrong. There's really nothing wrong with owning Ethereum at $2,900 because and I know it's going higher. It's one of those deals that I talk about all the time, where I say, well, are you going to feel really bad about buying it at $2,900 if it goes down? Just don't spend the rent money on it. I mean, if you just want to do a little bit of gambling, controlled gambling, that's a pretty safe bet. Would I do it? Yeah, I'd probably do it. Right now I've just bought a considerable amount of silver yesterday and a little bit more today. So I'm sitting on my own reserve right now. I've been hoarding silver. You guys better get serious, man, and buy some because I'm going to buy it all of it. Anything I possibly can. I'm doing some real estate consulting for a new startup firm that seems to think that they're gonna own the world. So even though I've made my position completely clear about owning real estate, these guys are like, well, we'd still like to have you come in and be an advisor. I'm like, all right, well, I want to be paid in silver because I don't want that green crap because it's worthless to me. And so I worked a deal where I'm a consultant for a startup of 25 wealthy guys that seem to think that they're going to own their little piece of America and indeed the North America. And so they want me on the advisory board. So all right, so be it. So that's kind of got my side attention right now. But the reason I bring that up is because just to let you know that I'm going heavy into silver. I didn't ever think I was going to go as heavy into silver as I have, but I'll tell you what, I sleep the sleep of the dead knowing that I've got something in storage that no matter what happens, I mean, I'm not going down. My ship is not going down, and so. That's what I've encouraged and mentioned many times to you guys is this crypto stuff's all well and good, but you got to have backup. You got to have a backup or 2 or 3 backups. So I'll never get tired of saying that because some of you guys are slow to adopt what I say. So if you haven't gotten silver, and we will discuss it in the show, if you haven't gotten silver, you still have a little bit of an opportunity to go out and do it. I mean, these days, do not wait. Do not wait. All right, so as far as Ethereum goes, you got a little bit of there's a little bit of an opportunity there probably within the next, I would say reasonably within the next 100 hours to probably net yourself 10% or better. And I'm not suggesting 10% would be, it could go 12, could go 13%, stuff like that. But as I see it, 10% is probably the bare minimum for that. So, and you'd probably recognize a profit inside of 100 hours if she's going to do that. Now, XRP, again, the prediction is there, and I told you, the purple is theory, orange is TA. I don't really subscribe to this arrow being anything. I showed you that right here, this 50%, if I can zoom in on it, I showed you this little wave right here is probably likely we're going to bang off of. Got damn close. I showed you, I said what we're going to get is probably a J hook, and it's looking like that's exactly what's happening. And so I showed you where it's going to come up, probably get a reject off of. So what I would suspect is probably going to happen is it's probably going to come down here. It's probably going to slide down this right here and then continue on down. Nothing has changed. Every once in a while you guys ping me and they say, has your prediction of 22 to 25 cents for XRP is, changed? No. No matter what you see in the short term, it hasn't changed a bit. So far so good. What goes up goes down. So generally speaking, what you should always know, I'll just give you kind of a quick, what we have here is we have what should have been, and we got it a little bit right there, but now we've got resistance on that, so we're going to be coming back down. So the short term of this is what we really have is we have a continuation pattern. There's a pattern within a pattern here. Now you have to be able to recognize it. In the short term, which is this right here, we have a run-up, which should have happened. In the long term, we have a continuation pattern going down. See what I'm saying? So when you see one thing that's going up, you can't always assume. Sometimes you got to zoom out a little bit and see the greater narrative. If you look at the greater narrative, you can very clearly see the trend is down. Obviously, we've got a lot of junk on the screen here, but obviously you're looking at a downward pattern. And we'll continue to follow that for a good long time. This right here is where I'm watching. That's the number one place that I want to start really. When we hit into the, let's just call it the 40 cent mark, I'm going to be covering XRP extensively. Once we get down into the 40 cent range, for even 45 cent range, I'm going to start really talking up XRP, because I think, and I deeply believe, that when we get into that range, I don't think any of you guys are really going to stand the chance of getting what you think you're going to get on XRP, because when the market sees that start to slide sub 50 cents, there's going to be a change in the availability of this, and markets being closed, and we're down for maintenance, and this, that, and the other thing like that. So when we start to cross the 50% line into the 40% line, stuff like that, it's time to start getting serious and not holding out for the very bottom, but it's time to start getting serious and buying up, because there's been rumor upon rumor upon rumor about how this is going to play out, and let's be honest, nobody really knows. But to be honest, the way that I see this is I see it going down, flash wicking down, wiping out everything, making quick purchases, and then we're off to the moon. I don't think this is going to languish down here until everybody's just damn good and ready to buy it. Hold on, I'm reading a comment here. What needs to happen for you to? Well, when I get to that, I'll comment on it. So as far as XRP goes, when it gets down to the sub 50 cent range, it's time to take a deeper analytical look at this. And of course, obviously, I'll be commenting on it daily at that point in time in VIP. And so I want you guys to all have a seat at the table, starting at anything below 40 cents. But to hold out for that 22 cent thing, you can always throw in an order. But if you're all in with the rent money and the shoelaces, I don't think you're going to get it. I really don't. Because I think there's going to be so many people that have seen that the bots are going to fill certain orders. You might get a little bit of it, you might get all of it, you might get none of it. So you don't want to do that. You always want to have a little bit of a safety. If you have to pay a little bit more at the 35, 40 cent range, at least you got a seat at the table. True? All right. Now, meanwhile, we can play with this, because this is just going down, down. We're still inside the broader yellow channel. I drew this the other day because every once in a while these channels, I have to kind of explain this. I've had a few people ask me, why do you draw a channel like this, and then it just seems to be eventually kind of changing direction? Well, to do that, let me show you what you're not seeing. Get ready for some pretty artwork here. Hold on just a second. It's going to take me a minute to look it up on the Discord here. We have a gentleman that's part of our Discord that does things considerably different than I do. Bearded Duck is his key name, and he actually graphically represents everything that I'm seeing on the back end that I'm not showing you on the front end. If I were to show you everything that's on the front end, your eyes would glaze over. It would make no sense to you. So I try to be very minimalistic in the lines that I show you, because too much is too much is too much. But hang on just a second. Let's see if I can find a picture of this. I want to show you what it looks like on my end on my graph. I have a system on the back end that shows me all this stuff, so I'm selecting certain lines from it. But I want to show you how crazy this can look. Every once in a while, I show the few times I've shown this. Here, I'm looking up on Discord here real quick. We actually have, if you join us on Discord, by the way, if you join us on Discord, you can see this. We do have. It's been a while since I've seen where his room is. Here, give me a minute. This is publicly available to look at. Let's see, Ducks World, Duck Spawn. There it is. This is what it looks like when it opens up. By the way, people have asked me, is this the 21 group? Yes, it is. You guys can't come into that. Well, that's not good. Discord. We'll have to. Well, I'll be damned. What's going on here? Welcome to live streaming, right? What is going on? Oh, we'll cover that. I'll let that percolate off screen here a little bit. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Discord must have had anybody else having problems with that on Discord right now? Somebody else go into Duck's Pond and see if they can get that to come up. That's weird that did that. I'm not getting anything. Okay, that's kind of concerning. All right, so I'm sorry about that little segue there. But anyway, as far as XLM goes, what should be planned? I really don't expect. Let's zoom right in on that. I really don't expect to break that. I think we're probably going to wander down a little bit here because ultimately what we're looking at is we're looking at a lower price for the market. We've basically made 50% of this line here. I didn't put a market, but we basically hit right at 50% on that. So. And rejected up. And so what you could say, if you wanted to, it's all about making patterns and recognizing patterns. What you could say is we're in a triangle. We're at 70% of the triangle. Now, if we're looking at that, we would say, well, you break out at 70%. Yes, you do. But generally, you always break out to the flat side. Usually about 80, 85% of the time you break out to the flat side. So I'm not considering this possibly much of a breakout here. What I'm thinking is we might meander a little bit and then eventually go and complete the double calls that we've already made right here. So again, I think I'm just going to leave that in place and see if that goes. So I'm watching for generally right in this range right here for a bounce. I think we'd be due for a bounce because we've had such a long run down that I think we get down here. I think we might see a little bit of a bounce. How much? I would say probably, and this is just gut reaction, but I would say maybe from this line to this line, you might, that's a bit aggressive. I would say probably, well, if we can get down into this line right here, I would say probably we're looking at, could be looking at probably about a 35 to 40% bounce. That would be we'd have to see some really long candles coming down in here to see that. But certainly better than a 20%. So if we come down here, let's just say this to kind of simplify things so I don't confuse you guys too much. If we come down and hit here on the nickel plus ISIS line right here, I would be buying it, and I would not at all be surprised to see better than 25% bounce at that point in time because we've had such a long run down on that. But XLM's still at a fairly attractive price, but not attractive enough. When we start getting down there into the 15 cent and lower, really honestly, if you guys are getting a little nervous, it may not go lower. Anywhere in that box right there is perfectly fine, as far as I'm concerned. A nickel is where I see it going. A nickel, give or take, is where I see it going. But realistically, if you're paying 15 cents on that, I would not be too bothered or too put off by that because, the upshot prices are going to be far, far better. I'm still looking at what's going on with Discord. Can somebody comment on Discord? Duck's Pond is loading here too. No problem. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm multitasking here, so when things don't work right, it drives me crazy. So I'll revisit that on another show. All right. All right, so back over here to XDC. So watching this one with great interest, as I've said on several shows. She's a slow leaker. She's a slow leaker. But I truly do believe that we are going to see it come down to the 50% down here, and and it's still a pretty aggressive drop to get down here. We got to drop, we'll just call it probably 39 to 40% to get down there. So this isn't going to be a this week happening likely, but look, we do get drops like that. So for it to come down here is very, very possible. Now, ultimately, it probably could go here. But if I were the average person not wanting to hover over this, again, I'm perfectly fine buying anywhere in that box right there, anywhere from the high end of the box to the low end of the box. So if you want to get an order in, start leveling in your orders there, leveling your orders there. Just use the ISIS lines. That's what they're there for. And do 4 orders. That's the best way to do it. That way you're sure you're filled at all points. That's again, I'm not Captain Dollar Cost Average. I don't like that. It's a boring way to invest. It's safe, but it's sane. So you can do that. At least you get something. At least you get a seat at the table. Yeah, my internet's been weird all day too. I'm up till 3-4 in the morning usually, and without hesitate or without it's without any shock at all. Usually my internet goes down at about 3, anywhere from 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Too much to attribute it to maintenance, and I have to go in. And does anybody else have to reboot their modems and reboot their router and modem every single every single day? Oh, you're welcome, Mark. That's all I do. I mean, it just, I've been at this for so long, Mark, that it's all I can do. I mean, hype is not going to do you guys any good. I mean, if I got something to say, I'll say it. If I don't, I would like to be on here every single day for you guys. I really would, but I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels in the dirt if I do that and I'm just talking, because then you get another continue. Well, this guy never says anything new. So it's kind of a fine line of being able to put out too much information that's of no value to just the bare minimum and stuff like that. But I do appreciate you guys, each and every single one of you. I want you guys to subscribe. It's been a rough 6 months for all of you, for me too, and but we're going to get there. But I appreciate you guys spending the time with me. So I definitely want to give you value for the time that you are here. And of course, obviously, join us at the Discord, because I'm on there a lot more than I'm on public live stream, stuff like that. So, by the way, if some guys are just joining the stream, stuff like that right now, we do still have the YouTube promo, by the way. If you want to come in, you want to subscribe to any one of these things, do it now, man. Do it now. You want to get familiar with our system. You want to learn our system. Join it, and if you want to use our coupon, it's all capital letters, no space. YouTube. You can save 10% off on any level if you want to subscribe to any of those levels. Just go to fibbycharts.com, go to subscription, and in the coupon code, just YouTube, all capital, YOUTUBE, all caps, no spaces, and get 10% off. We'd love to have you join us. What's probably slowing it down for me is my live stream is choking it. So yeah. All right. So let's talk Theta. This is the main reason I got on today, because I'm in a Theta trade for almost $250,000. I've got what do I got? I got 125,000 on the first trade, 100,000 on the second trade. So we've already. If you guys want to know what that's all about. Right here is my 125, and I doubled down, or almost doubled down, did 100 on this, and I told you how this was going to play out. And look, ain't she pretty? Ain't she pretty? Look, it's exactly like I told you. All I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. I'm going to get my money back, by God. This is revenge trading, baby. I want my money back. So I told you how this is going to play. This is a little bit more advanced stuff that I don't teach you guys very often, but because I know I don't want a lot of you guys learning this because you'll start to abuse it. But using your second play to make good on your first play lowers your dollar cost average, and so that we'll just leave it at that. I'll take some of the trash out here and explain what's going on. I feel very good right now having a little bit of patience, and I said this in VIP, you watch, patience is going to win the day, and now each one of these candles represents a day, and it don't seem like much, but when you throw down $100,000 and you watch that thing go down, what is that? You watch that thing go down 5.5%, you're like, oh crap, and a lot of you guys would be selling trying to reposition, but I got that line right there, and I said it's going to hit that line, it's going to come up. The investment made sense at that point in time, but I knew I had a security blanket right here, and she bounced up. So I said when it started to go up, I said once we cross this line, I'm going to feel damn good about it. So boop, we popped it, we hit that arrow, and we got up on top of the support. So now we're sitting on this. So what's up with this? So I know a few of you guys are in on a follow, a simpler play like. Wanda, I know Wanda got a better price than I did at the bottom, so I told you guys that where I think, if you can just have some patience, where I think we're probably going to go. Let me go back and recap this a little bit. There's going to be several resistances going down. So if I were to sell right here, I would lower my dollar cost average from whatever it is, from 325 down to 312. This position would go from 325 to 312. Not a lot, but at $125,000, that's a lot. So I would be able to do that if I wanted to. Now, second to that, if I wanted to hold the whole thing, hold this lower position, hold this upper position, sell it at the top of the red bar. So let me go back and recap here just to finish that thought. So where's our resistances? Let's cover that first, and then I'll get into the ramblings. So let's get the chalk out here. All right. So our first resistance, this is a theoretical resistance. This is where I bought in. There isn't support or resistance there per se. It's just kind of where my first line in the sand. My second line in the sand is going to be right here at 330. So you guys that followed me in, if you want to play this safe, I'll give you a Goldilocks scenario. Too hot, too cold, just right. If you wanna be safe and you want to make sure you book it, you guys that are buying down here with me and you sell up here, that bottom of that red box is your first out. If you want the quick money, if you want to hold a little bit longer, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. I'll get all this stuff out. That if we bang off of this, we're going to come down again. And you may go, oh, I should have taken it at the red. So I'm warning you right now. That's exactly what I expect to have happen. So it's going to test your resolve. Now, if you want to go a little bit higher, so you got one right there and you got one right there. Now, the likelihood that we're going to go from the bottom of the box into the box, well, you guys have been with me. You know how these boxes work. We hit the box, we reject off of it, we go in, we piss around a little bit, and then we finally go up a little bit. Boxes are just like that. We don't ever shoot through a box into another box. It just rarely ever happens. So what I'm telling you is this. If you want to just, grab your money and giggle all the way to the corner market and buy yourself a nickel candy bar, whatever, I would seriously consider doing it right here, because $3.30 is your first out. That's your first easy out, because we are likely going to get a rejection. Now you can come back and throw down again. Now where are we going to go down? We'll probably come down to ISIS down here at $3.16. Unless you're at my level trading with huge amounts of money, this is not enough money for you to throw back at McDonald's money. You have to be able to invest at scale to recognize profit in that narrow of a band. So I want you guys to be sure that you understand where you're at on the investment spectrum. For someone to do a bounce play off of this down to here, you best be rolling 5 figures or harder or deeper. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth it. And the reason I say that is because you're looking at not that appreciable of a gap. 4.75, 4.78%. That's a lot when you're trading $100,000, but it's not when you're trading McDonald's money. In fact, you'll get chewed up and spit out. So don't do that. So the short guys, to back up and recap one more time. The guys that are on the short train, I don't want to say short bus, the guys that are on the short train here, that have small amounts of money that came in, 330 is a very logical place for you guys to sell off. And go ahead and if we were to catch a catastrophic drop from there, maybe go all the way back down here, I will bless you buying in again at that level there, because that starts to make sense for you smaller dollar figure guys. And some of you guys remind me on a future live stream, and I will bring that up again, and I'll revisit this concept, because I know that I'd say probably 70% of you guys are better or are within that range, under $10,000. But it makes no sense for you guys to reinvest this little profit that you made, at this level. So pick it up again back down here, maybe somewhere like right in that general area there. So, all right, to the far end of that, let's go back and explain. People don't want to take the time to go back and listen to the last live stream. All right, so I know I got a lot going on here. I'm going to start trimming some of this stuff out, and then we'll talk about what I'm seeing here in just a second. So this was originally my original goal, and I'm sticking to it. I want to see this original buy go to here. I just do, for other reasons. Now I could still hold on to this if I want to gut this out and watch this this current price action bounce off this red and go down. I put the odds at probably 85%, if not higher. That's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, I'll do Dent, by the way. I just looked up and just saw Dent. I haven't talked about Dent for a while. But I expected it'll bounce off that and go down. So I might be looking at a week, 2-3 weeks before I finally get up here, But you smaller guys, I want to put some money in you guys' pockets, and so I just take the easy one right here. Just take the easy one, because I think eventually we're going to come down to this blue line again. I truly do. So any of you guys that are in with me, get out at 3:30 and wait for the next call to jump back in, because I think eventually we're looking Theta. As I've said before, Theta front runs the market. So whatever, and it's been doing this for a very long time, enough that I feel very confident in saying that as Theta goes, the rest of the market follows generally with about 2 weeks behind. Anywhere from a week to 2 weeks follows up behind. Don't know why that is. It just seems to, as I've observed it, just seems to be the way things are. So we'll play it like that. We'll consider it like that. We don't ever make anything canon or gospel, but it's always best to kind of look at it and just kind of consider it as a possibility. So, all right, have I covered enough here, I think? So basically, I'm just waiting for the bottomless red zone to happen. Now, when will that happen? One more thought here. I did want to cover the markers on that, by the way. So when will that happen? Well, these are one-day charts. I am not going to be surprised. A one-day candle. Look at the runs we're getting on some of these one-day candles. So here we are, 4 o'clock Chicagoland time. Usually when I'm seeing most of these candles get spunky is usually around about 9 o'clock my time. So in about another 4 or 5 hours, we're probably going to be bopping off the bottom of that red box in the next 4 or 5 hours. So get your sell figure, or get your sell orders in, guys, or get your button ready to hit, or however it is you do your thing. And I suspect it'll be rather fast too. So don't expect it to hit it and hold it, because it probably won't. Well, hey Heidi, how you doing? I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. Some of you guys have been gone for so damn long. I forgot you even exist. Heidi's in Australia. She's probably got better problems. She's got bigger problems to deal with than worrying about us. Okay, so where are we looking at with indicators? Indicators are looking really good on this. This is why I'm so up on the idea that I think we probably get this, or maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit higher, but at least this, because the alligator is spread really well. I'm sorry, this is. Yeah, we're working with Snapdragon. Snapdragon is the more advanced version of the alligator. So green above red above blue, looking really good. This thing is not coming together at all. We like it when, to go back and recap for guys that don't know what I'm talking about, we like when those indicators spread like that, this one, and this one. We like that, because that means that things are, whatever's going is going to get more magnified, and that's what we like. And currently we are on the upswing. Second to that, I commented on this. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen since I've been trading. It's never seen a Bollinger Band do that. Just chop, 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 chop. I mean, talk about head fake. Generally what you'll see when they start to spread like that, the Bollinger Band, you'll get, that's this green ghosty bubble here. Whatever you've got going up, going down, it'll magnify and it'll just start to run. But, it goes up and it closes. It goes up and it closes. And so here we are on our fourth evolution of this. All the other indicators are lining up positive, but there's a lot of chop there. We haven't had any. Let me go back and explain a little bit better, so you guys who don't understand. What you should see is a very decisive spread. Then the bubble gets fat and it closes. Then the bubble channels, and it goes into a compression throat, and then it should flare back out. But what you see from here to here is it just went through this cycle of open, close, open, close, open, close. So I believe we're probably looking at something where when this happens, it's going to explode out. I don't think up in the general way of things is going to be going up, but I think we are going to see an explosive move here pretty soon. So don't rule out, by the way, don't rule out our sub $2 theta as still being a possibility, because I think that it will. But currently in the next 100 hours or so, I'm liking what I'm seeing. All things are positive. We're 5 for 5, so I think we're ready to rock and roll and go up a little bit higher. So any of these things are definitely in the cards, but if you want to play it safe, 330 is your out. If you want to play it a little bit more fast and loose, let me give you a little bit. Let me give you another indicator here, just to top you up. Let's play conservative and take that down to 3s. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's make that green. Make that yellow, actually. Let's give you one more here. All right. Good. All right. So that's basically those are your targets. Good, better, best. I am not having a huge feeling that anything outside of that red box is going to happen on this move, just so you know. All right, so we hit the 50% on T-fuel, and it's very obvious. As I told you, I said this is as high as I think that this will go because we had resistance. And generally, I usually tend to, in the last 6 months, I've been really all about the 50% plays. 50% of a TA move almost always plays out. So I look at this as more fact, and this is more possibility. And I told you on last live stream, this is probably as high as it's going to go. And now that I'm seeing this, I'm seeing a continuation of a pattern here. What I believe is going to happen is we've got this resistance going through the middle of the channel. What I think is we're going to get into a flat, and then we're going to drop. So this is pretty much off the table as far as any possibility currently. I think we're in a continuation of just down. So you could kind of consider this channel right here where we're at for T-fuel. So just be laying there like a snake in the grass, just waiting to strike on this thing. So you might want to be down here thinking about buying T-fuel probably anywhere from about $13.50 down to about $12.50, right in that range. That's your next buy. Reason I say that is because we've got a little bit of resistance right there. So anywhere inside of that box, to the middle part of that box, would be a very, very wise buy, because the bounce will happen. Now, when the bounce happens, let's say, for example, from there to there, boom, you just made yourself 18%. This is T-fuel. This is the reason. This is the one I tell you you're perfectly fine buying. Just wait for your profits. So right now, currently, we're at 17 cents. If we drop down to 13, 14, 15 cents, you can bet your butt it's going to drop. It's going to go back up again. Absolutely. All right, so let's see if I can find a few other things here I want to talk about. So Cardano, I never talk about Cardano. I'm not down on it necessarily, but it's going to be a while before this thing does anything and becomes a part of anything that's really worthy of comment, as far as I'm concerned. We've had a swing to the opposite direction here. Let's see if let's clean the house here and get a little of this stuff out of the way. Looks like she's moving back up, but we're still channeling down. That's a very long channel down, folks. Cardano, when it decides to get on a run to go a direction, it takes a long time to turn it around. So, if you're looking at, you can pretty much see the party's over. For any bullish, you can see we're touching off there, we're touching off there, we're touching off there. We got 3 points. I don't think that's going any further than that. So you could probably see a rejection and a move down. We've had a lot of green action there, so probably likely I'll go ahead and take this out for now. But what is likely to have happen? We're likely to probably start working that area there, which will turn into a flat side triangle, and down she goes. So within that area right there, you could probably expect a heavy resistance there and then further downward action. Quite a few of these are starting to catch a little bit of a quite a few of these are starting to check back in with a 200 EMA. I mean, you've been away for a long time. Like I said, I've said it many times, we always come back home, and you can see this. We wander away. Sooner or later, we touch back on that 200 EMA. The 200 EMA sometimes comes down to the action, and the action comes up to it, but make no mistake about it. Eventually, you do touch off. So we may still have a few more days of upward action on reef. But by and large, we're still watching. We're still watching. Let's get into a shorter chart for that. I'm not going to be surprised to see probably right in that general area right there. That would be just beyond grand, guys. to be able. Well, we've got a prediction marker here. Let me drag this across. So Numis gave us a mark of .006 at some juncture in time. We've come very, very close to it. I haven't revisited correcting that a little bit, but I think that still pretty much holds possibility. But as I see it, what I'm looking at is I'm seeing basically this. So I'm going to pretty much tell you that I feel very comfortable telling you. I'm sorry. Anything sub that, buy the crap out of it. Buy the crap out of it, because Reef is still holding at $3.36 future prediction. This is one of those McDonald's money plays that I talk about so much that I believe very heavily in Reef, and I believe that it will substantially change your future. You guys that have little money and lots of patience. It's going to take a combination of some money and massive amounts of patience to ride it out for a couple years. But this one can be a game changer for you, for sure. Even if you bought it now, but don't buy it now, because it's only going to get sweeter. Why buy it now when you can get twice as much here very, very soon? All right, let's see if I can find Algorand here on this joint. I did want to talk about Dent. Let's see, Algorand. We're still waiting to get a damn Songbird chart. By the way, if you guys are using Platinum Pro, if you see red, that means Chase that's a little note to self. Chase has got something he's doing. He's fixing some of these. He didn't know. Chase is not a trader. He didn't know ZRX is the same as OX. So I just got to get him corrected on that, and that one's perfectly fine. Couple others I want. I'm just going to take a look at a few here. Hold on just a second. I want to talk about Polygon for sure. That one. I might as well take a look at that one. And let's see what else. What else? Right, so we'll talk about that. All right, so there you go. There's the prediction. There's the hit. There's the prediction. There's the hit. So, Algorand, guys, my God, this thing, it's Christmas come early. For whatever reason, Algorand is just getting its butt handed to it. It is an ISO coin, guys, and there's going to come a time. I mentioned this. I always hate to kind of repeat myself, but I know there's a lot of people that come in here on first-time visits, so I have to kind of feel compelled to mention it. ISOs are going to start to come online around about September, October. And so ISO 2202, whatever that is, I can't remember the number, but that compliance statute for certain coins, there's 5 or 6 coins that comply with that, and all those coins are going to go batshit crazy, price-wise. They have to, because that's when they're mandated, carved in stone. They have to be ready to go. They're going to be implemented. It's already been told to the public that's how things are going to happen. I mean, all you got to do is read the news and understand how bankers work. I mean, bankers are not, they're evil fuckers. Don't get me wrong, but one thing they aren't is speculative, and they'll tell you what their plan is, but they tell what it is they talk to amongst themselves. They put out reports, they put out prospectus. They're telling their investors, people holding their stock, what they're doing. So I don't hold any stock, but I do get an awful lot of reports that come in to me through my Diamond group and through my 21 group and through all their other entities that I have structured, that I get a lot of reports and stuff, and so I get the news on what's going on and what they're planning on doing. So it filters down to when I talk about here on live stream. But they're not ambivalent in the least little bit about, or ambiguous in the least little bit about when this thing is going to be legit. And by that I also mean XRP. So it is going to be September. You're going to start to see the early adopters going to take their positions before the public realizes what the hell is going on. And by October, November, whoosh, what happened? Why is this going on? Because they told you about it a year in advance. So the reason I'm telling you all that is to tell you this. Right now, you're looking at a blessing. Now, I'm not suggesting you buy it at 82 cents, but if you did, you're not going to lose money by the end of the year. You're not. I'm not going to be surprised at all to see a 10x move. Not at all to see a 10x move across the board for all ISO coins. All of them. That's your XRP, that's your Quant, that's your Algo, that's your XDC, which are probably going to do even better. I would even give you 15% or 15x on that one, because it's so beat down. It's the lowest underappreciated baby coin of them all. XLM also. All of these coins are going to be a spectacular hold. You want to play with the big boys. You never bet against the bankers. You've heard me say this. I almost got a tattoo of it. Never bet against the bankers. Where they go, that's where the money goes. Always has been, always will be. Well, they're happening now. The drop's going to happen for a Q. You're talking about the whole market drop? Oh, yes, definitely. Well, it's happening now. I think what let me speak to that for a second. I think what a lot of people are expecting, they're expecting like an unholy crash where we just wake up on a Thursday and just everything's just fell out of bed and it's on the floor. And I don't think it's going to play that way. It's not playing that way now. I mean, there's going to be moments, don't get me wrong, but we're not going to have like I've heard some pretty outrageous claims based on nothing and stated by people with no credibility and with no experience, clearly no experience in market sentiment, say, we're going to be looking at a 70% crash. Well, if we were to get a 70% move, we're in the middle of it right now. What do you? Let me make a case in point for that. From top of that to bottom of that, there's your 72% right there. So when people say we're going to be getting an 80% crash and stuff like that, well, I just showed you 72 right there. So, every move lower is a blessing. Yeah, we are likely going to get clear down here into the buy zone, which is from where we're at down to the top of the buy zone, still another 60%. I make that case because, again, we haven't had any. I hate to use certain words on YouTube because obviously they censor heavily, but those things that go boom, that get launched into other countries, we haven't had any of that. We haven't had anything really major. And here we are in feel-good summer, so, it's rant time, boys and girls. I think right now, I went to the gas station this morning, so let me pause all this for just a second here, and I'll get off topic here. I'll just do this. So I went to the gas station this morning, and I always talk to little kids, the kids that work at the gas stations. They see me rolling with my cars, and so they talk to me all the time. And, I happened to notice the price of gas went down a little bit today. And he's like, "Oh, it's great, finally." And they don't understand how the game is played. And one of the kids was working there, and I say kid, he's probably about 25 years old, said, "Oh, thank God the prices are down now. I can afford to go out and stuff like that." I said, "Well," and I don't want to give him a master class standing there in the gas station, but I said, all this is this is summer. This is summertime. They want everybody to be happy for a little bit, and then they're going to tighten the noose a little bit. They strangle you, then they let go, then they get a tighter. What we're in the throes of is a bit of a pullback, same as you see in the markets and stuff like that. So the next swing, I'll speak specifically to gas. So gas in my neighborhood or in my area, back when the Donald was running the show, I think we were $2.50, $2.60, right in that range. And once Uncle Joe stepped in, I believe we're looking at about $3.79 right now. We have been almost as high as $4. I know some of you guys in California go, "Oh, I wish I was paying $4." Yes, you probably do, but I'm not going to be surprised to see us get down to maybe about $3.50 for a while, just to get that off the news cycle. See, we're good guys. We got the price of gas down, and then here we go again. Next thing you know, now it's $4.25 and $4.50, and then it pulls back to $4. Oh God, thank God we're at $4. And $4 is not that bad. And the next thing you know, we're at $5 and $5.50, and then we pull back to $4.75. This is the way the game is played, and so. Kind of part and parcel to the way that these markets work. They don't kill you all in one stroke. They chip away at you little by little by little by little. So that's kind of the way the economy works, and that's kind of the way markets work. And so stuff like this, you can see they take it away, they give it back a little bit, and then they take it away, and they give it away, and they take it away. That's the way the gas prices work. That's the way everything in life works. And so to see a catastrophic drop can only happen when we have true market panic. And you know who creates true market panic? The same people that are setting the gas prices. So if they want true market panic, well, get it. But to count on it, to say, "Oh, I know it's coming," no, you don't. No, you don't, because nobody on September 9/11, least of all yours truly, knew that was coming. And so, if the thing about it is there's so much wars and rumors of wars and stuff like that. We're all kind of hypersensitive to it and stuff like that. I mean, shit. Short of aliens and nuclear bombs and whatnot. I mean, they've got us so desensitized to the stuff that should normally freak us out. I mean, they really got to step up their game. So what I'm telling you is this: unless we get one of those, I mean, really bad events. This is going to be a slow bleed into the pit of hell. This is the way it's going to work. They'll give it to you, take it away. Give it to you, take it away even more. And it's going to slowly bleed down. So if anyone is expecting a market slam, I can't tell you whether it will or won't happen. I can tell you by market probabilities using Anubis that where we'll go. That's how we get these buy zones and stuff like that. How we get here by a series of slams or bleeds is irrelevant to the conversation. It's curiosity, but this is where I expect to be buying algo. I expect to be buying algo at 31 cents or less. So hopefully that answered some questions. 6:15 this morning. Woo! California boy, aren't you? Oh God. Oh, awful. Yeah, you guys have followed me. I'm a car guy. You know me and my damn race cars and stuff like that. Oh, it's killing me. I gave up. I had a new car I was going to go get in Texas, and I can't do it. I can't pay that kind of money for something I know I'm basically only going to be able to run on a track, because eventually I'm going to be looking here local. I'm going to be looking at $8 to $10 a gallon gas inside of 5 years, and I'm not paying $10 a gallon to be driving around in a race car on the street with a bunch of people that don't have insurance. Are you fucking kidding me? No way. No way. So, that along those lines, and I'll get back onto the charts here. I have told Chase, my son, we should probably be looking at an electric car, but again, I don't want an electric car because right now electric cars aren't doing crap. And I refuse to own a Tesla, so don't even suggest it. But the car, the brand, my beloved brand, only has a car that will go 100 miles on a charge, meaning you can't go cross country with it. So irrelevant. I would never pay $237,000 for a car that goes 100 miles. I just won't do it. And then you got to sit in a damn gas station or charge station for 8 hours to go another. No, that's ridiculous on a level that even I won't do. I'm currently looking at watching. Chevy's got a new 4-wheel drive, something similar to a Colorado that's coming out, but the damn thing is $100,000 for a truck. Good God Almighty. I'm telling you, your world is never going to be the same as far as transportation goes, as far as just the price of things. I mean, Lord, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But what I am telling you is we've covered this in Roundtable about how you should be addressing this stuff like this. Get yourself a cheap gas-burning carbureted car because, man, even that's going to have a shelf life for a while. But the only way to survive this is to make as much money as possible to buy your way out of the problem. I'm sorry to say, but you can't you can't come at this understanding how you're going to deal with it because there's going to be just so much coming at you. Yeah, 100. That's for just a regular mid-sized truck, by the way. It's a gorgeous truck. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm starting to sound like an old fucker. I paid $57,000 for my 1957 post-war bungalow in Des Moines, Iowa, back in the day. And, so I look at that like an old man. Everything, when I see trucks getting to be as much as what I paid for my first 2-bedroom house, I'm like, good God. Now I'm seeing that they're almost price of double what I paid for my first house. That was back in 1988, if I remember correctly. And it's just absolutely insane. But welcome to the new economy. So but does that make sense to anybody to drive around $100,000 truck? I mean, even though the price of money just doesn't buy you what it used to buy, you got to also remember if you're going to go throw down that kind of money, you're going to be driving around with a bunch of other people that are broke, that are not, even though insurance is required to drive, they're not going to have insurance. And so if you ever got hit in a $100,000 truck, and it just doesn't make sense. There's going to be so many vaxxed up, uninsured people driving around losing their mind. I mean, it's like a Russian roulette going out with your $100,000 truck. So it's a scary thought. All right, so sorry about that, guys. Every once in a while I kind of segue, but all right, Sheba, talk about gambling. Poke. Again, there's our third wave still running. Nothing much to say. I just wanted to just demonstrate that nothing's out of the unexpected. We're working our wave up. Now, if you remember correctly, I told you, so can you make some money here? Well, let's go ahead and address that. There's 18% right there. Now, I don't expect it to go that high, so I don't want to paint a picture, of being up to that wavy line. I told you that wavy line's about where I see it capping out. So let me show you the high and the low of this. So from where we're at right now, we've already pierced twice into the lower darker yellow box. Upper box, right here at the transition in color, you got roughly about, we'll just call it about 11%. There's 11% to be made right there. I think the possibility of doing that is fairly good. If you go to where I'm expecting, which is red dotted line, you're looking at about 20-21%. So, play that as you will. If you want to just take a modest amount of TA into this, and I do mean a modest amount of TA, that's where it's putting you right there. So to go back again, 12.5%. Not the 15 I like, but if you're bored, you just can't help yourself. All right, so Matic bounced into my predicted circle here. I think we're probably going to go. We can move that over just a little bit because I don't think we're done yet. I think we'll probably hit the top of that channel. So look at Matic and Shiba and all these things. They're all going to move together. So if I say Matic is going up and I say Shiba is going up, and we start looking at something like Polkadot or something like that, the whole market flows together. One wave is not going out while one wave is coming in. They all, they ebb and flow generally together. So sometimes when I just look at a chart, like say for example, I'm just going to pick two out of a hat. If I'm looking at something like Shiba, I'm like, I just don't know what the hell this thing's going to do. And I see a certain formation, but it's not quite as evidence to me that it'll happen. I hop over to Matic. Oh, well, sure looks like, here I had a line right here. Matic is looking like it's pretty good. And I can go back and I can apply market sentiment to another coin such as Shiba. So yeah, I'm fairly confident by what I'm seeing on Matic that Shiba will do what I just told you. So Matic again will probably bounce off this and then reject. So I'm not looking for what is this? Probably nothing too great. Probably 7.5% run if we stay inside of that, and then we'll walk down. We'll probably walk down the inside of this, and then we might drop down to that line there. Are you impressed? Are you impressed? Just like it's supposed to. So this sine wave thing, I don't show it on all charts, but this sine wave is part of the Anubis system. They do actually have this tool on TradingView, but what Anubis does is it takes that tool and actually applies market sentiment and stuff to it. So that's how you get this actual line. So, but you can see, I mean, it's just sick how well it follows it, up and then down. And so this is actually the long count. There's one called long count, and there's another one called short count. I believe this is the long count. So again, moving back up, she just won't get down on both knees. Just won't do it. But again, it's not breaking up insofar as that it's necessarily getting out of. I can take this out of here. TA doesn't always. Orange is TA. TA does not always pan out. And that's why I'm very. So I brought in the orange color just to kind of always say, because I didn't want people thinking anytime I put a yellow or a green, I didn't want anybody thinking I was making a call. That's why I always show that in purple is theory, orange is TA only, not necessarily my opinion. Yellow is my opinion slightly with a little bit of reservation, and green is go for it. Notice you haven't seen an awful lot of green lately because it's just these markets. I would never suggest that you go for any of this stuff right now because it's too speculative. We're not in a air quote bull market right now. We're in kind of a llama market or a sideways market or whatever you want to call it. So again, alligators are spreading. We're already in green. We're kind of topping out. It's getting a little squishy, guys. It's getting a little squishy. So I don't think that this is probably necessarily going to go much beyond probably right there. It might penetrate, try a little bit, stuff like that. But I don't think that this thing is going to be blasting. I would still be holding for lower prices. I'm not. We've had how many tests? Good God, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had easily 4, possibly 5 solid tests. Our next test could take us easily into this. So what we're waiting for is we're waiting for the next down cycle. We're still waiting for down in this general area here. So, and again, I told you Reef and Dent move together. So what I say about this is also the same I say about that. All right, getting back to Doge here. So Doge doing that little hookup again. Not much to say about it. I was just doing a real quick look at it to see what's going on. I haven't checked in on Pancake for a long time, but Chase hasn't got the links on that. So, let me go back and check a couple things. There was one that I wanted to look at, and Loopring. I believe it was Loopring. That was one I wanted to comment on. Yeah, that's it. All right. So, if you guys remember, probably about a month back, I told you that Loopring was likely going to go into a sleeper formation and it was going to pop. Well, there you go. So that may not seem like much, but it was 54%. Sleepers wake up running. So Loopring, that would have been now. Should you chase that? That's a tough call, guys. That's a tough call. We just had a 54% run. That's going to sucker a lot of dumb money in, but I want you to look at this right here. We have a huge, this is a one-day candle chart, by the way, a huge amount of green action. I don't like your odds. I don't like your odds of really going crazy. As I see it, we might be getting into, we might possibly get, let me hold on just a second. Let me hold that thought. Hold the phone for a second. Sometimes I get talking and I see things when I'm in the middle of a sentence here, so. All right, so let me make a case for this. So this could very, very possibly be something you can make a little bit of money on. Do I have a problem with you owning it? No. I told you that this was eventually, I told you this was going to be something you're probably going to have to hold for a little while, but you could expect a pop. So lo and behold, there you go. Now that we have popped, we pulled back, what, 20, 25%. The indicators are very strong here. They are starting to get a little squishy right here. They've dug down, but let's zoom right in on this. The blue's crossing back over red again, but what concerns me the most, is how much green we've got on the MACD here. You know, good God. Yeah, so eventually this is going to start to fade a little bit, and with it, price action. So don't, this right here is I would consider this a negative. I would consider this party over. This could turn around, go back up, and do one of these numbers where it goes up, dips down, comes back up, goes. So the RSI is still in play here for you. However, the blue, if you have to really understand how to read a MACD chart, most of you guys look at the green red. Is it green? Is it red? The other thing you need to look at is this line that's part of it. If this line is under the MACD, sometimes it could be over it. There's room to grow. There's upwards room for this. So this blue line is much the same as these here. This blue line here is spreading away from that. So there is a little bit of gas left in the tank. So scale of 1 to 10, what do I think? How strong do I think this MACD is to carry us to higher heights? 60 to 70% likelihood. I'm being generous at 70. 60 to 65%. Likely that we can get a little bit more green that will carry us to the bottom of this yellow box. Now, why do I say the yellow box? I say the yellow box because, get the chart here, because this is where we get our first resistance right there. So it makes all the sense in the world to me that we still have a little gas in the tank where we've fallen down onto support right here. We're in a very interesting little small box right there where we're now supported by this action right here. We're resisted by that action right there. So you with me? Let's get that out of the way and I'll show you what we can do on that. So if we go up to the bottom of that box, you have potentially, and I'm not saying in one stroke, and I'm not saying, today or tomorrow, but probably, if it's going to play, it better play within the next 7 days, 5 to 7 days. You have potentially a 30% move, 30 to 32% move, maybe almost as much as 33 if it wants to penetrate into that box. So let's just say better than 30% possibility. But let's keep the idea that if we make better than 15%, we book it. Don't hold out for the bitter last penny. So again, you guys have heard me say multiple times, anything over 15% in a market like this, I'm good with. The potential to make 15% on this particular coin in this particular situation is easily 85 to 90% probability that you can make 15%. So don't have a problem with you paying $1.14 on this right now. In fact, I might join you. I'm going to have to spank Chase. He doesn't have all the charts plugged into 2.0. That's not really looking very spunky to me. One of our diamonds just asked me to take a look at this, so I think we're pretty much look at how much green you got there. I mean, it's very likely that we're probably just going to just go across that and come down. We'll probably be in that little triangle there, and then down we go. I'm going to try. Sorry about that, Giant. I'm going to try. Part of it is my voice, and part of it is me facing the microphone. I'm using an XLR mic, so if I get really close like this, it gets obnoxious. I mean, if I make as much as a 2-inch move away from this mic, it does affect the volume an awful lot. So I'm looking for a better quality mic. This is my third mic that I've used. I'm considering switching over to like a Blue Yeti or something like that. I was told that XLR mics would boost me a lot. Might be my amplifier, might be the mic itself, but I'm going to try something different. It would be nice to not have to be able to have my face shoved in this spit screen all the time when I'm talking. I don't like things in my face. So pardon me, I've got the volume turned up as much as I possibly can, but sometimes it's just me not talking very loud and facing the mic. So. All right, so let's take a look at silver and get on out of here. All right, there you go. So where I did this, just to kind of go back and recap for everybody here, I told everyone where my first buy was at. I went really heavy at 22.59. I said that's about where the bottom is, guys, and I was pretty darn close. So bought in on that, and didn't have any liquid capital. I saw this. I saw we had kind of bounced. It looked like we're going to plateau and we're going to go up again, and so I did another buy right here. Just did a buy today down here, and this I should probably put this in here. So I just did a third buy down here at right there. Just did a third buy at that level right there. So I'm pretty much done buying silver for a while. So now, should the rest of you be buying? Yes, the rest of you should be buying, because as I see this right now, I don't see this going. Whoops, that's probably the wrong one to use. I don't see this thing going into the toilet. I really don't see this going. It would indicate that it's going like that. I somehow get a very bad feeling, or I get a very strong feeling that I don't think so. I do not think so. But nonetheless, if you're paying $25 on silver, you're doing great. You're doing great in this day and age. I shouldn't be surprised, because I know J.P. Morgan, those bastards, are the ones that are messing with it. But I shouldn't be surprised that we're back down to 25. But we shouldn't be. All of you that are into silver know we should not be at this price. We should be considerably higher, 3 to 4 to 5 times higher than where we're at. So every time we get below $25, don't hesitate to buy more. Just don't. But as it looks right now, here in the now, looks like we're hitting the top of the channel, kind of bouncing off a little bit. So basically for the next couple of days, we're probably going to be in that general area right there. Did want to take one quick look at this here, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so this was, I told you we're going to start seeing a run at that, and up we go. Now, we are on the underside of this triangle, so what am I expecting? I'm expecting to see this thing go down further, so not going to be surprised to see Populous drop back down here onto the deck. So if we get a drop, here's going to be your next play. Let's just go ahead and do this, and then we'll get on out of here. So if we drop down to the dual ISIS line right here on Populous, buy it, because what's going to end up happening is we're going to see this boom up, and a move from here to here is 38%. Got to watch it, because these things got to be live traded, because there's about damn few exchanges that'll let you enter orders on Populous. But be watching for be watching for around about 26 cents, or 26 cents on Populous. So, all right. So thank you guys, appreciate it. Again, audio problem, Johnny. So I'll get something figured out. I got to turn it up a little bit once in a while, but just bear with me here. I hate to just keep buying microphone after microphone after microphone because it's annoying as hell. But we'll get something dialed in here at some point in time. So, all right. So thank you very much, guys. Have a good week until we get together next time. Be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.